the Capital Region's #1 late news, News Channel 13, live at 11.
Tonight's top story, bomb blast at Yale. An explosion caused damage, but no injuries at President Bush's alma mater this evening.
This is News Channel 13, live at 11.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Lydia Colbita.
And I'm John Gray, filling in for Ed Digg tonight. The FBI says no one has yet claimed responsibility for the blast about 5 o'clock today at Yale University's law school. As Michelle Franzen tells us, this explosion shook up a lot more than just that building.
An explosive device described by investigators in a preliminary report says a pipe bomb blew up in an empty classroom at Yale University's law school in Connecticut. New Haven's mayor says the blast damaged 2 rooms and caused a wall to collapse, but luckily no one was injured.
No structural damage. There's some water damage around the site. The windows weren't blown out.
The majority of students had finished their academic year on campus, but those who were nearby the explosion scrambled to get out.
We were trying to scream to them to get out because they had no idea what had happened. But you felt the jerk, like it was like boom, and you shook.
The explosion came one day after the nation went on elevated alert due to terrorist threats. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force was on scene, but says there were no specific threats against universities.
There is not a lot that is known, and we are in the process of putting together the pieces of the puzzle to ascertain who was responsible, and there's no motivation at this point that we're aware of.
Just hours before the blast, President Bush, a former Yale grad, addressed graduates of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy in New London, Connecticut, just 50 miles from the Yale campus. So far, authorities say they don't have a motive or a suspect. It is not the first time an explosive device has detonated at the Yale University. A decade ago, the Unabomber sent an explosive device through the mail that injured computer science professor David Galertner. In New Haven, Connecticut, Michelle Franzen, NBC News.
Well, with the country at an elevated alert level, there is a new audio tape in the news that seems to be from a top lieutenant to Osama bin Laden. The voice on the tape calls for Muslims to use the September 11th hijackers as role models. The city hit the hardest by those hijackers is hosting Fleet Week right now. A surge of Navy ships floated into New York City's harbor today. Security throughout the city is tight tonight, with local, state, and federal governments involved. Senator Hillary Clinton is calling for more federal help to protect New York's northern border. She says federal resources are needed at the border crossings in Buffalo, Rochester, Clayton, and Champlain to keep the country secure without choking off the economic benefits of trade with Canada.
Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney is encouraging people there to go about their business despite the heightened terror alert status right now. Governor Romney had lunch in the Berkshires today where he spoke about Homeland Security and federal aid coming in the form of a supplemental spending bill. The governor says he has 45 days to distribute the money once Washington makes it available.
We're still waiting for the final word from Washington, D.C., but when that word comes down, we'll be ready to move and distribute the funds. Our intent is to do so on a regional basis. So rather than making grants town by town, city by city.
The governor made his comments today at a luncheon put on by the Berkshire Chamber of Commerce.
It's been a pretty unusual day and evening in the city of Rensselaer. The mayor has been arrested.
We'll get the latest on that in the live report, and we'll go live to the city council. First, though, Chief Meteorologist Bob Kovacic in the Weather Center. Tomorrow still the best of the next few, Bob?
Yeah, it looks that way. Certainly dry tomorrow, but we can't say the same for Friday into the weekend. A cool night now. Skies have cleared a bit. We'll call it partly cloudy out.